All right, I'd like to call this Town of Cedar Lake Unsafe Building Department meeting for May 15th, 2024 to order at 5:42 p.m. Please rise for a Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, can I get a roll call, please?
Mr. Beal?
Here.
Ms. Dessauer? Present. Mr. Teal?
Here.
Mr. Deutmeyer?
Here.
Mr. Bungie is absent. Mr. Gatto?
Here.
Ms. Heiduk is present.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, start off, we're gonna have the, can I get an approval for the minutes from March 20th, 24 meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion from Heather, and a second by Jeff. Roll call vote?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes. Motion carries 3-0. All right, first item today is on active unsafe. Item number 1 at 7303 West 138th Place. This is a actual mistype on the address. Tony, you told me it was 128th?
It's on here as 129th Ave.
No, it's 129.
129th. Yeah, okay, I didn't click on it. Yeah, so it's 129th, yes, because it says 138 on the agenda. 29th. All right. Do we have someone here for this? Mr. Fouch. Okay, he was here last month. Tony, has he come in with anything? Because I know that he was gonna, I spoke to you earlier today, last time he was gonna come in as far as doing the repairs himself to the foundation.
Do you have access to the wiki from that computer there, where you can see if, we're kind of in a vacuum here with no Ashley.
Yeah.
I'm checking the wiki right now to see if he'd come in or not. I don't recall the permit going out for him. There would have been a term put on it by you guys, and I don't know if there was one set.
We did set one.
Yeah, I thought we did.
Okay. I haven't gotten any notifications to go look at anything, I'll say that one, so we've had no inspections.
This was the one where he wanted to put 2x4s and,
4x4 post, I believe he said.
Yeah.
Right, he wanted to fix the foundation, which is, that's fine, we just need a plan from him, I guess, on what he was going to do,
Yes.
and then to, see what he was doing.
okay.
So we're gonna have to have somebody reach out to him and see why he wasn't here. Tony, with Ashley not here now, I don't know if that would be you reaching out, or,
I guess.
or if we do Cheryl, right? If you could reach out, Cheryl?
We can either try to call or
Yeah.
one of the...
Yeah. Okay. So Ryan, I'm assuming there's gonna be no motion on that either, just moving on to the second item?
It would just be to defer it to next month and to direct the building department to issue an order to appear to the property owner.
Okay. Can I get a motion for that?
I'll make that motion.
Oh, second.
All right, we have a motion to defer to the next meeting and for someone from the building department to reach out to Mr. Fouch. Can I get a roll call?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0.
That's a June meeting?
I don't have my calendar, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find a date here.
Yeah, June, it'd be mid-June. I'll write that down so I know.
June 19th.
19th on the,
Yeah.
this page here.
Thank you. All right, moving on to item number 2, 13947 Hobart Street, Weiss. Any update on that one? I do not see the petition
Oh, I
here.
just stopped by and sent you those, I think, actually, that was when Ashley was still here. Just looked at the site and it, whether it's sold or still in Weiss's possession, it needs to be cleaned up, it needs to be mowed, it's just,
Yeah.
whatever happens with the house itself.
Yeah, and I understand that we had, they had the issue with the title or the deed
Sure.
being taken from them kind of thing, or stolen, I guess.
Right.
But wasn't that getting worked out though?
Yeah, I was under the impression it was.
Yeah. I thought that was discussed at the last
It
meeting.
was.
Yeah.
That it was figured out, and they had a prospective buyer?
Yeah.
Mr. Dortmeyer, where are we at with that then?
I just pulled up the docket for that case. So on January 25th, the Lake Superior Court entered an order granting the motion for default judgment, which then simultaneously the court entered an order transferring the properties back to the Weiss family. But recently, in March, an attorney appeared for the respondent. Looks like they had set a hearing just on damages. So it looks like maybe they reached a resolution on that particular item, but I don't see anything that would have vacated the prior order transferring the property. So the Weiss family owns it. By my recollection, their plan was to just try to sell it. Is that consistent with what you remember?
I believe so.
That's what I remember as well.
Yeah.
At this point, they need to appear though. We need to talk to them. I know that for a long time that the property was in flux. My opinion is I would like to talk to them.
Mhm.
I thought last time the transfer back was going to be complete. That's my
I think,
thought.
the last time they were probably here was February?
Yeah.
Maybe?
That could be.
Yeah.
And that's when we found out that the default judgment had been granted, and that they were gonna try to sell it, sort of on the cheap to get it offloaded to someone else,
Right.
so that person could come in and give a plan, but I've not heard anything from their attorney since the last time they were here.
That's been 3 months.
I mean, if you want them here, similar to the first one, you'd want a similar motion. However, since they're represented, I can reach out to their attorney and tell them, what's happening and that they've been, ordered to appear, as opposed to having Cheryl or somebody else in the
Yeah.
town send it.
Okay.
If you're okay with that.
Yeah. So we'd be looking for a motion to defer to the June 19th meeting with instruction for Ryan to reach out to Luis's attorney.
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second.
Can I get a roll call vote?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Sessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. Item number 3, 8120 Lakeshore Drive, Bank Shots Bar and Grill, formerly Shane's Bar and Grill. I did get the packet, actually, from Building Department with what they were planning on doing. Were they changing anything from the last thing they presented? Or, it's kind of hard to know what,
I thought Joe Lopez was gonna be here.
yeah, I did too.
I don't know, everything that he wanted to do.
Yeah.
I think you could probably talk about the plan commission when they came in us.
Yeah, we talked about that at last meeting, and I thought we were under the understanding they were gonna adjust their capacity
Yeah.
to parking,
Right.
and I thought we were all under that same agreement.
Yeah, waiting to see what they bring to us.
But we've not seen them since.
Yeah.
May I say something?
Not right now.
Okay, the meeting schedule online says 7, just want you to know that.
Plan commission starts at 7, Unsafe is 5:30.
Okay, okay.
I'm looking for the date on this real quick.
It says 6?
It does, the plan commission, whenever
Yeah.
there's an Unsafe, it does start at 5:30 with the plan commission starting at 7.
So basically, this packet, what I'm seeing is, this was 8, why is this not Republic? Hold on, 25th day.
With all due respect, sir, I don't feel like we should be talking about this period without them being here.
Yeah,
The last thing that we've talked about was they need to be back in front of the plan commission with a proper plan
right.
for their capacity to match their parking, and until then, there's not much we can talk about. They seemed very excited. I'm surprised that they're not here.
Yeah, me
They've
too,
been
because I
pretty-
stayed for the plan commission as well, and figured we wouldn't be seeing them here anymore.
Right, that was the hope.
That was the hope.
So they're not on our agenda tonight, Bob, am I mistaken?
I didn't see it.
I didn't think they were.
Oh, here, I have it right here.
You do?
Confirm.
Yeah, because I don't have it.
They are not.
They are not.
So, do you know if they're scheduled to come to the work session in June?
That I'm not sure.
So we'll have to,
It would make sense because they can't come tonight to the meeting to get voted on if they haven't come back with a
They might be
plan.
on
Right.
for next.
So the hope would be is that they're scheduled to come
yeah,
to the work
it's
session.
kind of messed up for us being that they were before Plan Commission, you know, and for us asking them for stuff and seeing what's going on, you know, it'd be better if it was after.
It's kind of interweaved, but I mean, I believe that, I don't know if they are scheduled to come for work session, but I believe that work session of the Plan Commission is the next step. So
Mhm.
hopefully we could get something approved by the end of June.
Yeah.
And that would remove them from the list.
So we'll do a 30-day?
Well, no,
Or,
because
no.
I really want them to appear at Plan Commission, but I don't know, Mr. Dortmeyer, how do we do that?
And you don't know if they're coming in for the work session in June?
We don't have that schedule.
The memory serves me, I think this was kind of the issue we ran into last time, where I thought the anticipation was maybe they'd be back this month, and that it was gonna, their meeting would be after ours, which kind of made it a little superfluous, but
They've been communicating and trying to do the right thing. I mean, there might be some confusion on their part too about what meeting to go to at this point. I don't know if they're on the schedule for the work session or not. If they are, then this would solve our problem right now, because they didn't think they had to come here.
Cheryl, are you controlling that, lining those people up?
No.
Heather, what's your recollection, how close are they to having something finalized with the Plan Commission?
Well, we were close, and then we got farther, and then they came back again, and they said, what do you want? And we said, your parking has to match how many occupants you have, period. And then he got excited, and he said, you know, if we want to grow later, we can maybe acquire some more property.
Yeah, I think
and-
that's what he had said when he was here last time.
Yeah.
Right, and so then we set him back with very clear instructions for him and his engineer to get together and only put as many seats in the building as,
Spaces were allowed.
yes, and he seemed excited about that.
So that's the issue then, needs to be sort of ferreted out at the Plan Commission level.
Well, yeah, but if they're not on our agenda, I don't,
Correct.
can we at this meeting ask him to come to the work session in June?
I mean, those are two different bodies,
That's my
right?
question,
We can't, the Unsafe Commission can't say, you need to go to the work session. But, you know, you could send him a notice to appear at the June meeting and see if that sort of, you know, pokes them along a little bit to make sure they're doing what they need to do at the Plan Commission level.
We also don't know, they might already be scheduled to come.
Correct.
So is that something that we can ask them to come, but then if they're scheduled for the work session, we can just
I would
kind of take
ask
it
them
off the
to-
agenda, because it'll be early enough.
I would ask them in your communication, I'm sure we have standard form letters, you tell them they need to be here, and maybe for theirs, you provide sort of the escape pod, you know, you need to be here or provide us with an update by the next meeting. So then, you know, if he's not on the agenda for the June Plan Commission meeting, he's not making a special trip. But hopefully that would nudge him along a little bit if something's got her, you know, tangled up in the web.
Yeah, just some sort of communication rather than...
Yes, I mean, as you guys have always sort of made clear to people, is you want to be communicated with.
Yes.
You know what the status is,
And
what
we
their
can
plans are.
request that, Heather, at the Plan Commission, that they be at our June work session.
Yeah, we can't, we don't know, they might already be scheduled to come.
Right, and tomorrow morning, I'll get with
Okay,
who I need to get with and try to figure out if they're gonna be on the next work session.
sounds good.
Either way, we have to
Yeah.
make, do we do that at this level, or do
So-
we talk about it at Plan Commission?
Why wouldn't you consider a motion directing the building department to order them to appear, subject to their review of the work session scheduling in June? In other words, if they're already on the work session in June, then you're not gonna order them to appear to this
Right.
meeting, because you can deal with it at the Plan Commission level. But if they're not, then you're ordering them back to the Unsafe Building Commission
Mhm.
to explain to you guys what's going on, what the holdup is, and what their plan is.
Okay, that makes sense. Can I make that motion?
Yes, you
All right, so I'd like to make a motion to direct the building department to check in the morning, see if they are indeed already scheduled for the work session for the plan commission. If not, contact them and let them know that we request their presence at the next unsafe meeting.
And defer this until the June meeting?
And defer it until the June meeting.
I'll second that.
All right. Can I get a roll call vote?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Sensauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes. Motion carries 3-0. Moving on to item number 4, 9320 West 142nd Avenue, Northwest Indiana Casas LLC, formerly Midland Trust Company as custodian, FBO Pamela Broadway, account number 1716575.
And Junior Martin's on it too.
Okay. All right, could you state your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, Junior Martin, 2701 West 45th Avenue, Gary, Indiana, 46408.
All right, let me get to this real quick. All right, do you have an update for us and what's going on with the property?
Yes, so the demolition was completed before the prior meeting, forgive me, I reached out to Ashley on the 24th of April, for some reason I thought that was the date of the meeting, so forgive me for not being here last month. But the demo was complete, and then the structural engineer was there on May the 5th, and I'm just waiting to receive his report. I spoke to him on yesterday, and just stated he'd been backed up, and then he's completing the report this week, and he's actually going to mail it to me rather than email. But hopefully, I would hope by Monday at the latest I would have that report. Nothing major. He gave me kind of brief rundown of what he's going to recommend. But I should have that report. I can get that to Tony and Ashley. Like I said, I would hope early next week, and as soon as I receive it from him.
Okay. Tony, as far as the scope of work that's got to be done on this thing, is this something that you think that we can handle just if they come in for permit or something, or, I mean, what they're wanting to do? Or, I mean, since you have really no clue yet until you see that report?
Yeah, we really won't know until we see what their engineering report is and go back out there and compare the report to what we see there. Because it was only partially demoed when we were there, so.
Right.
If we can match up the report to the full interior demo and see if they actually coincide then.
And when were you there? Before May 5th?
What's that, with the
Did you
last time
check
we
the
did site
demo?
inspection? No. No, when I tried to check the demo, just basically looking through windows, there was still drywall in some of the rooms that I thought should have been demoed, so.
Was that before May 5th or after May 5th?
That would have been, I believe that was last week when I sent that email to
Right.
all you guys.
So it sounds like that's after when he's saying the demo was done.
Right. So I'm unclear on that, and we'd have to go check it out in person, which place was locked, so obviously I couldn't go in there and verify every room, but I don't know. So we'll expect to see a report from him next week, it sounds like.
Well, instead of waiting for that, is there a way for you to get access to find out where they're at with the demo?
If they've got a lockbox on there, that would be fine.
We can have whatever they want from the structural engineer, but if it's not even demoed properly, then we're like treading water here.
True. True.
Mr. Martin, is there a way that we can have access to the property? Not, obviously don't say it now, but
Yeah,
if
right.
he can have access to the property to check on the demo?
Yeah, of course, and we did little here, and that's indicated to demo, but yeah, I'm happy to try to have one for whenever you want to go. I've got this running behind me.
Do you have he said yes, do you have his contact info to call and get access details, or?
I don't. If he can give a call to the building department tomorrow and leave that code with one of the building department personnel, that would be perfect. Okay.
So we're still going to want to see him here, or?
Yeah, for like a 30-day deferral, but
Yeah.
at least, Tony, after you go, could you maybe shoot us an email,
Sure.
let us know
Mhm.
demo seems good or
Yeah.
not?
And then depending on his report on what he's wanting to do as well. You have a better picture?
Yeah, so I think, Rich, to address your question to Tony, a bit ago, we're not at the point, I don't think, where you could turn it over completely to the building department. The holdup here has been, if memory serves me, Tony had concerns about some of the structural integrity of the structure based upon some work that we couldn't see behind the walls. Is that
Mhm.
correct? So until they couldn't do a scope of work on what the build-out is going to be for this property, until they knew exactly what those issues were or were not. So I think we're inching closer to the point where it could at least be put on an update item, but I don't think you're to that point until you've heard exactly what the issues are, what the planned fixes are, and the time frame for doing those. Once that's established, which might even be as soon as next meeting if this report comes as quickly,
Yeah.
then that's something, you know, you guys could vote on issuing the permit for a limited amount of time, you know, giving them a few months or something to come back in and to update you guys at that point in time. So, not quite there yet, but if everything holds true by next meeting, potentially you could be there.
Okay. So then we'd be looking for a deferral for 30 days to the June 19th meeting with instruction, that Tony will go out and do an inspection then, and then get back with us with that report?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Sessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Shields?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. Moving on to item number 5, 7308 West 138th Place, Herrera, formerly Parrott. Name and address for the record, please.
Hi, my name is Alicia Herrera, 9995 White Jasmine Drive, St. John.
All right. So, what are your plans with the property?
So my plans are to bring it back to life. I would like to renovate it. I have been speaking to a couple of contractors, so once I get back with what they're going to tell me, you know, I would definitely let you guys know and keep you updated as far as like where I'm going with this, but I plan to go through the proper channels to get the proper permits to do that. We have started cleaning out, you know, the yard. There was a lot of garbage there. There was a canopy there that was removed. There was a bunch of tires, just a bunch of debris. And we do plan to do more work. And we didn't want to do anything with the home right now until we came here to discuss this, and also to get like pricing and stuff with contractors. Because we would like to do some of the work ourselves, but like I said, we want to go through the proper channels and do what needs to get done.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
I don't know.
Jeff?
No, I don't.
You've only had it for a month or so, right? You closed it-
Yeah, I closed, it was the Good Friday, so like March 29th, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, and so, I do work a lot or whatever, my family, so like on the weekends when we come out and we've been cleaning out, but like I said, I have reached out to some contractors, and I did go to the Cedar Lake website to get, you know, contractors that are on the list, but I would like to get more estimates, because I've only gotten a couple
Okay.
estimates.
Is your intention to live here or use it as like a vacation home? Or?
Maybe to use it as a vacation home initially. But I'm not planning to like rent it out or anything like that.
Well, I mean, that would be fine too. My
Yeah.
concern is obviously the appearance on the outside. Well, first of all, that no one's living there
Yeah.
anymore.
No, yeah.
And secondly, the appearance on the outside, the neighbors obviously don't need to look at this
Yeah.
eyesore.
It's an eyesore, yes, for sure.
But it sounds like you've at least helped by picking up garbage. And
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I've gotten before and after pictures, and it's already looking different. So I just can't wait to, you know, once we get everything started with the actual house.
Okay. Do you foresee construction starting relatively soon, or?
Yes, I do. Once I get like the, I guess the bids from the contractors, I would, you know, start getting the permits.
Okay.
Mhm.
would it be beneficial to you to be able to do some demo work inside to uncover, you know, whatever maybe hiding in there?
Yes, permitted, we definitely would do that.
Okay, if you'd like to do that, what we've done in the past is, if you want to come get a demo permit, we'll issue it for
Okay,
interior demo, and that cost will be credited to your rebuild permit when you, if you decide it's,
sure.
you know, whatever you're gonna do there. So that way you can do what
Get
you're
that,
doing
okay.
legally, and you can get better, more accurate quotes that
For
way.
sure, for
So,
sure.
yeah, we can definitely.
Thank you, yes.
Sure.
That helps me out a lot.
Unfortunately, this property has been on our list for quite some time, at no fault of yours.
Yeah,
And we
it's
appreciate
okay.
what you're doing with it.
Sure.
But I personally would feel comfortable with a 30-day deferral.
Mm-hmm.
I would also feel comfortable directing the building department to
Issue.
issue that demo permit, that
Okay.
interior demo permit, if
Okay.
that's something that would help you out.
Yeah,
But unfortunately for me, I would like to see you again in 30 days.
okay, so come back to the meeting,
Well,
to the
we-
next meeting?
We'll have to vote on it, but that's
Yeah.
my thought.
Now, Tony, is there a timeline you'd like to see on that demo permit?
Up to you guys.
And that's also a good question for you. I mean, if you came in tomorrow and you got a demo permit, or are you thinking like you're not gonna be able to demo it for 60 days, or?
No, we would, like, it's a demo, so that it doesn't take, I don't think it would take, long
So
to get that,
would it be helpful to issue you a 30-day demo permit
mhm.
where you could come as early as tomorrow and apply for it and then pick it up when it was ready, with the understanding that you would come back to us in 30 days just for an update?
Okay. Can I get it like a little longer than 30 days, just in case? I'm pretty sure that I might be able to, but I just want to make sure that I have enough time to do the demo, because like I said, with the hours that my family and I work, they're extensive hours, 10, 12-hour day shifts.
Yeah.
So like the work that we would do would be like really on weekends, but,
Well, what would happen then is if we did 30 days, you would come back in front of us in 30 days and say,
Okay.
here's our progress, here's what we're
Okay.
doing, or you know what, we've worked long hours, this is what we've got done, and then we could just extend it at that
Okay.
point.
sure, that's no problem, I can do that.
For me, I would feel comfortable with a 30-day demo
In a 30-day deferral?
and a 30-day deferral. That would be,
Okay, would you like to make that into a motion then?
yeah, I'll make a motion to do a 30-day deferral with the understanding that if you'd like to come in and get your demo permit,
Okay.
that will be for 30 days. And then if you come back in the 30 days and you need it for longer, we could always extend at that time.
Okay, sounds good, okay.
I'll second.
Thank you. Can I get a roll call vote?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Dessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Ma'am, if you don't mind, when you come in to submit that permit application, just let, building department know that it is on the unsafe list, and that way it'll,
That way we know.
yeah,
Okay.
we'll know the terms then.
Okay, sure, thank you so
I
much.
appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to item number 6, 14616 Dewey Street, Frick. Hello. Name and address for the record, please.
Tom Frank, 8008 West, 146 Avenue, Cedar Lake.
All right, how are you doing today?
Tired.
Tired? Do you have an update for us with what you were gonna be doing? I think the last time you were looking with the architect that, as far as redesigning on remodeling the house then, or?
Well, it's probably gonna be more like a new construction.
Yeah.
But, she's moving up to where she's gonna do the complete drawings. And, I'm trying to empty out the house. And, I'm trying to move forward.
Are they getting closer with those drawings or anything other than what you showed us the last meeting? I mean, are they getting closer with an actual architectural plan that's something they can present and, to the building department and move forward with this, or?
I'm sure, but I don't know what kind of timeline. Because, we're emailing back and forth. I mean, it's not like we're emailing every day. Because she used to live in town here, but she don't live here no more. She sold her house.
So there's been no progress in 30 days.
Other than cleaning out, you said?
Yeah, I'm emptying out the house.
Is the majority of this out?
What majority are you talking about?
Of all the pictures, it's full of stuff. Is a lot of this out now?
I know, no, it's not, a lot of it's out, a lot of it's started, but not, a lot of it's not out yet, no.
We had talked before about the difference between a remodel and, because the demo of the property was always a thing.
Yes. And I spoke with Tony and them at the building department meeting on Thursday about issues like that with houses that are in the process that would be demoed, rebuilt, and stuff like that, and on timing with getting plans presented, permits for demo, and overlap and stuff like that, and that's kind of in a funny situation with building department versus unsafe, and what we do as far as saying, here, it's gotta be cleaned up, but then in the same thing with the timing on what he has with presenting to the building department. So it's kind of a
I think we're.
never-ending circle that bugs the heck out of me. I'm sorry, that's...
You're back to square one 6 months after the house has been down. There is no sort of, leeway to say, well, the old house was, this size on this lot, and we'd like to, kind of continue with those, legal nonconformities. But once 6 months is up, according to the ordinance, you're just down to the zoning ordinance, and that's it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's gonna be an issue for Mr. Frick, being, you're 100 feet wide and 125 deep, is that, okay, yeah, I mean, usually that's an issue when, if he was on one 50-foot wide lot,
Yeah.
that could be tough, but he's got quite a bit of space to work with, so.
But if he were to tear it down, and it goes past the 6 months, my concern then is it would have to go back to the current subdivision control ordinance, right? And then now he'd be the only lot with the sidewalk in that subdivision then?
I don't know about that part, that's legalities that maybe Ryan or Dave could expound on, I don't know on that.
Yeah, that's the kind of vicious circle that we're in with that situation.
Okay.
Yeah, but I also don't want that to hold up the situation.
I agree.
I think 6 months is a good amount of time for you to take the house down and then decide what you're gonna do with it, to start to build.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So then it needs to be demoed.
Yeah, as soon as I empty it out, I will.
Well,
So
we need
do
like
we
some sort of a
issue
timeline for that,
Well,
because nothing's happened in 30 days, so.
Nothing that you could see.
Well, your neighbors are seeing this though, so.
do we issue a demo permit? Because right now, there's nothing.
Are you, if a demo permit is issued, are you gonna demo this in the next 30 days?
I don't know about 30 days, but
Feel comfortable with a 60-day demo permit?
No?
No? Okay.
you
Figured I'd have to ask, sorry.
I've been dealing with this property for a lot of years. It holds water. It's a low spot. Years ago, I went to the town. They told me, I told them about it, because every time it rains, that property fills up with water. It used to be a lot worse before the streets were built, because you couldn't even get out of your car and go into the house without walking ankle-deep water. Now the streets are built, but still low part. Because before I bought the property, the property behind me, which is the bar, they built their bar parking lot 2 feet above the property. You could see it. There's no place for the water to go. I come here to Cedar Lake to talk about it. They says, well, if you pay for the pipe, we'll put it in. To where? The back of the property is 1.5 feet below the street. There ain't no place to put that water. So, 3 weeks ago, I'm in here about another meeting about something else. I find out that they stubbed a pipe into that property to take care of the water problem. I didn't find out about it until 3 weeks ago. He said it was all in the planning, the system is supposed to take care of the water, this and that, plus the bar owner wants to tap into it. So they wanted me to give up an easement. so that this pipe can be put in. Not for me to benefit, but for the bar parking lot. You know, and it's like, that street's been in 4 years, 5 years. I didn't even know about this pipe. There's a 12-inch pipe at least, stubbed into their property, 3 feet below the street. And I didn't know about it until 3 weeks ago. The damage on the bottom of that house is from sitting water, because there's no place for the water to go. That's why the house is the way it is. And I've had to deal with it for over 15 years. And then you're coming along and telling me, well, you gotta do it now. And I've been waiting all this time. What do you want me to do?
Well, so you're telling us that you're gonna demo the property and build something new.
Correct.
We're just asking you for realistic timeline, not, I'm gonna get to it. That's what we're asking you for.
But
You're
asking
saying
me
you're gonna
to-
demo it
You
and build a
asked me to
home.
demo it in 3 days. I ain't gonna promise that.
Can we do a 30-day like we've done before, and then you come back after 30 days, and we can see the progress that was made?
Fine.
There's not gonna be progress, though.
You don't know that.
What are you going to do to the exterior of the property to make this look better for now?
Why would I spend the money on it when I'm...
That's my point, it's not gonna look any different in 30 days. It either needs to come down, or it's not going to look different.
So you want me to spend money on making the house better so I can tear it
No,
down?
I want you to take it down. It needs to be demoed, and you've said that you want to demo it.
Correct.
We're asking you for a timeline for that. When are you going to demo the property?
I don't know, at least 60 days.
If you're going to fit the timeline of demoing this property and then fit in that 6 months of reconstructing the property,
What are you saying in 6 months? I have to have a new house built in 6 months?
you have to have a building permit pulled
Permit
and
secured.
and construction started.
In 6 months.
If that's true about the subdivision control ordinance requiring a sidewalk in there, then that would be the, yeah,
If it went past the 6 months.
and I'm
So
not
from the
clear.
time I get a building permit, I got 6 months?
No. From the time the house would be demolished, you would have 6 months before you're reverted to the zoning ordinance as it stands.
So from the time it's demoed to the time I start on a new
From the time
property?
you secure the permit.
Oh, secure the permit.
Right.
But time-wise, that doesn't make sense, because if you're asking for 60 days, and then 6 months rolls you into the beginning of winter, where no one's gonna be starting construction on a home.
Well, that still wouldn't stop them from having a permit with all the plans presented though, right?
I mean, I'd like to get a foundation in the ground before that. I don't know, is building still booming like it is because it's so hard to get people to do anything for you? I don't know how many contractors I talk to, they show up, they look at the place or whatever, I never hear from them again. They don't need to work, they're so busy.
Very common issue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I can't promise anything.
I mean, you're looking 6 months, you know, after, let's say if it was a 60-day,
November, end of November.
you know, it's passed technically, because at the end of, if it didn't get demoed until the end of the 60 days, you're talking mid-July. And then 6 months from there,
Let me ask
So I
you this
can't
question.
talking January.
Would you demo the house if we were able to give you some sort of an agreement that you didn't have to pull a building permit in 6 months? Take the 6 months off the table for now.
Well, getting a building permit shouldn't be a problem once I get the drawings.
Right. It shouldn't, because it is, Tony and I spoke around noon today about that, and it's not like this is one of those 50-foot by 75 or 80-foot lots. I mean, this is good size. Yeah, you know, you could see 100 by 125, I think it was, Tony?
Right.
Yeah,
It's 2 50-foot lots.
yeah.
So are you saying you can have this house demoed in 60 days?
I could try, because it ain't gonna take but a day to demo it.
Right. Why couldn't it be demoed in 60 days?
Because I gotta try to get my stuff out of there. I'm not gonna hire a moving company to take my stuff out of there. I'm not saying all that stuff's, a lot of stuff is, going better.
I'm out of ideas. I'm trying to help this move along, you're just not
I
really
know,
giving me
and
much.
right now, I'm at the point where I'm thinking right now, we instruct the demo permit, 60 days, 60-day deferral, and
He's really telling us he's not going to do it the next 60 days. So all we're doing is pushing it to the side.
I'm gonna go and say, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and then hope that he's, gonna do it. And then we'll, if it's not, we'll just, deal with it accordingly then.
So I agree with that. I mean, there's nothing there, I mean, it's tough getting people to do this stuff right now, like he's saying. I mean, and I sympathize with you on that.
Have you called any demo companies?
Have I called any?
Yes.
Not yet. I just got the list.
I won't be making a motion, so that's up to you guys.
What do you think? You think
I'm thinking
60 days?
60, for instructing him to go to the building department, get a 60-day demo permit and, a 60-day deferral.
I can make that motion.
Can I get a second?
I'm not gonna second that. We're not getting anywhere with this, there's no answers. We're pushing this back 60 days, and he's gonna be back in 60 days.
You don't even know me.
Sir, I do. You've been here multiple times and given us I'm
I'd like to
truly
see
trying to
him-
help you, give me something here. I'm asking for some sort of a commitment from you that you're gonna take this house down. And 30 days is too quick. Is 60 days good? No, that's probably not good either.
Okay, I'll say 60 days, but if it goes past that, it's not because of my fault.
You can call there's a list of contractors in Cedar Lake that I'm super confident that someone can get out there in the next 60 days and remove this home. You haven't even called, so you have no idea.
It's springtime. But I'll try it, I'll do it. I'll try it. But what?
We're just trying to get scheduling of something that's gonna happen. And I know you can't really predict in 60 days, but that's quite a long time to call these demo companies or call anybody. Like I said, it's gonna take one day to knock it down and get rid of it, so. You should be able to do that within 60 days.
Okay.
And then just be diligent on this, don't just put it on the side and say, forget those guys down at the Unsafe building.
So Ryan, question, since I'm still fairly new to this as far as motions and being chairman on this.
I thought you were gonna ask that.
Yeah, okay.
Before we get to that, Heather, have you changed your mind at all on second?
We haven't got anywhere.
Okay. Then what you can do is you can pass the gavel to Heather, who's the vice chair, and she can handle the gavel for this particular item. And once you've done that, then you could be the one to second.
Okay, I will do that then.
This is dangerous now.
I know, I'm gonna be paying
Only for one item.
Hey, that's the trust I have in you, Heather. I trust you won't do that.
All right, so I will ask for a motion then.
I will make that motion that we, have instructed the building department to give a 60-day demo
60
permit.
days from and to, what would be the expiration on it?
I would say by the next meeting, so we knew June 19th, so July Where's my calendar?
You want it to expire the day before the July meeting?
Before, the day before the July meeting?
It'd be July 16th.
16th.
Before.
July 16th, thank you. I will second that.
Roll call?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Stetauer?
No.
Mr. Teal?
Yes.
Motion carries 2-0.
Maybe 2-1.
2-1.
2-1, sorry.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you. Moving on to item number 7, 14737 Bryan Street, 14737 Bryan Street Trust. Do we have someone here for that, or somebody online, or?
They got it cleaned up like we had asked, with that remaining trash in the backyard. I think that was our concern at the last meeting. Now I believe they've just got it listed for sale.
I did not see a sign today, so I was a little confused by that, because that was my understanding, was they were planning on putting a sign out
That's right, they had asked if.
Like,
they had their questions.
soon,
Yeah, right.
but it is a lot cleaner than it was.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
you can
yeah.
actually see things now.
Yes.
You know, it's very open. Everything, the garage was down.
Mhm.
I believe that was an old outhouse or something
Yeah.
like that. That is down.
Yep. Filled in.
What's your thoughts then, Tony, on the condition of the house itself versus what we know the other stuff was that is now gone?
It was very original inside. Whoever gutted it had removed all the cabinets. My only concern at this point is, I mean, it will need to be remodeled, interior and some repairs on the exterior, some boarded up windows and whatnot. I suppose until it sells and you get someone to commit to doing repairs on it, then it'll leave, you know, once we end up with a building permit for the repairs, then,
As far as Unsafe goes, it's secure?
yes,
Main concern before was garage
yes.
and debris
Yep, oh yeah,
and overgrowth?
yes.
Tony, if all those things have cleaned up, or have been cleaned up, is there unsafe issues with the home itself?
Some of them, I suppose, still exist, but I don't think it's anything that, I don't know, I guess ultimately it's up to you guys, but I don't think it's.
And there's nobody living there,
Correct.
right?
I would hate to see this get lost in the mix. I would not feel comfortable removing it or even moving it.
Oh, I didn't think so. I don't know about moving it to update item though,
Well,
or, I mean,
so we've got boarded up windows, missing windows, exterior doors are rotted, storage sheds, which
That's all.
are down.
Yep.
Detached garage is down,
mhm.
electric well and garage, that's down. I mean, they were instructed to be here today, right?
I sent a certified, but I didn't get the green card back.
Mhm.
This one's one that changed owners a couple of times too.
Yeah, they
Maybe
purchased
twice.
it, they were gonna flip it, and then they cleaned it up, and then now they're relisting it, which there's no sign.
Well, we've heard through the grapevine that it's actually already sold, so that's a problem then
So
too.
so then that would be the reason why I didn't see a for sale sign in front of it this
Yeah,
afternoon.
it was just sold without listing probably. Okay, well, good to know. So we need to
So-
find out who the new owners are.
Yes. So we would need a motion to instruct the building department to inform the new owners?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you guys would know that when they come in, Cheryl, right, when they come in for a utility billing and stuff like that, when they transfer?
Yeah, that's on that side, the utility billing
Yeah.
side, yeah.
At least from what I understand, that's typically how it would be, you know.
Utility billing, no one, building don't talk to each other, like, oh, is this on Unsafe? Let me make sure you have the
Right.
new address. Maybe we can,
Instruct billing to go, and
and that's only if it's
if it's, yeah, check and see if it has been switched over.
either way though, that should be updated in the tax
Yes.
records. It usually we can take up to 30 days depending on when it's sold.
Correct.
So,
We're gonna wanna see somebody here in 30 days, whether it be if they're still the current owner or new owner.
it's because someone new couldn't just roll in here and ask for a permit. It's flagged that it's on the unsafe, right? That would trigger that?
Sort of yes, sort of no. We don't even have a system set up to where it would be flagged like that. Usually we depend on, well, we used to depend on Ashley to keep an eye on that stuff. You guys know Ashley now. So that's kind of, yeah, it would have to be just basically me or Eddie that process the permits. It would have to be just known between he and I, which obviously I would catch it, but he would just have to know to just kind of earmark that address.
But we can still instruct the billing department though to check tomorrow with utility billing.
Mr. Chairman, according to the Lake County Recorder, looks like there was a trustee's deed recorded on May 7th, transferring the property from the Bryan Street Land Trust to Philip D. Holmes and Noel C. Holmes, husband and wife.
So then I would say that would have to change then to go to issue, in order for them to appear at the June 19th meeting, the owners that you just listed.
Good back there, Rick? And in the meantime, Tony, I mean, is there a way to create I'm not trying to be a town employee right now, but create a list at least of the unsafe addresses where that would not be, no, if nothing's issued?
I'll ask Cliff if there, I mean, we have, besides the shared unsafe folder, I could ask Cliff if there's a way to.
He's online.
Okay, well, I mean, I can ask him tomorrow, I don't expect him to answer right now,
Okay.
but I could get with him tomorrow and see if there's a way that he can, I don't know, create something.
Well, even if you just had this current list next to your pens that you sign your permits to.
Well, I would know whether it is or not,
But he's not
I'm not
always
the
there,
only
so
one
yeah.
doing the permits, so.
Well,
That's
whoever
it.
it is, because that'd really be something if Philip and Noel Holmes came in here tomorrow and pulled a permit and were
Right.
issued that.
Right. I agree.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm ready for a motion if that's okay.
Absolutely.
I'd like to make a motion to instruct the building department to contact the new owners and notify them that they have to be at the next
June 19th.
June 19th unsafe meeting.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Can I get a roll call vote?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Nessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. Moving on to item number 8, 14714 Dewey Street, Urban James Linden.
I've made all these meetings.
All right, can we still get your name and address for the record, please?
14714 Dewey Street. I've been trying to figure out how all of your system works here so I can figure out how to get this fixed. I was wondering, is there any way we could break down the problems with my house to where I could do some at a time? Because last time you told me you were concerned about rotten wood. Well, and if I check the walls from the outside, if I open them up looking for rotten wood, if I find it or not, it's not going to do it any good because then I have to wait till I come back here and find out if I can get permission to fix it. And I certainly don't want to destroy the walls on the inside in order to look for rotten wood. That'd be really great to do that and not find any rotten wood, so I just destroyed the walls on the inside.
At the last meeting, we talked about, Tony, you meeting with him at the property and
Right.
doing some sort of a scope of work.
Right.
Did that happen?
No.
No.
I mean, that's definitely step one.
Well, I looked it over myself and thought, well, how can I do what you requested that I do?
So
There's only two sides, an inside
So
and
you're
outside.
wanting it more or less, if we do it little bits and pieces, kind of prioritize, Tony, would you be able to, if you do meet up with Mr. Linden, prioritize on a more pressing, what needs to be, like, high priority kind of list, or is that,
I guess the first step would just be to.
you still have to go out there with him? but-
Right, get a game plan as to,
Pick a spot, I can open it up, and if there's something bad, I need to be able to fix it.
right, I mean, the layers of siding
That's
the layers of siding that are falling off are definitely, a concern, and as Heather mentioned, I mean, the appearance
Yeah.
of the house as it brings down the property value of the homes around it, so. The inside, I'm not gonna say is not a concern, because it's still a safety concern, but the exterior is probably, if you were to put things in a timeline, the exterior would probably be the first that they would like to see taken
Yeah,
care
I
of.
would like to get the exterior taken care of.
Sure. Yeah, we would all like to.
Yeah. We haven't been getting very far.
Right.
We just keep getting.
Did you try to meet with Tony this past month? I mean,
No, I did not, because I looked it over myself. I've done this kind of work.
but Tony's the guy that's gonna be,
Many years.
Yeah, Tony's gonna be the one that's
He isn't
gonna
answer the
be,
question, how many ways can you look inside the wall, either from the inside or from the outside? And neither one's a good idea. If I open up the outside, and all the rain we've had lately, how can I open it up and leave it open, and just make it worse? Now, if they didn't find any rotten wood, it's not doing it any good leaving it open, because I have to wait till the next meeting, come back here to get any kind of permission to fix it.
but you were instructed for more or less to meet with Tony at the house. And he's representing the town. That's our eyes and ears that someone's out there. You might think something is not rotten wood, and Tony looks at it and says, it's gotta go. So, I mean, you gotta meet with Tony first.
I really doubt that would be the case.
Well, we've gotta get Tony's opinion.
I don't want
Your opinion's fine,
rotten
but
wood in my house.
that's the one we listen to. He's the one that's gonna make the recommendations.
Well, can we break it up into sections instead of the whole thing?
he's
We'll let
gonna
Tony
go out
decide.
there and see that first to make that decision.
I think we're flexible to any sort of plan, but step one is meeting with Tony at the property.
Well, for the last meeting, the meeting before that, you asked me to bring in something to tell you what my plan was. Well, I wrote down the stuff for all the way around the house.
Well, sir, what you were trying to do was remove wood from one part of the house and put it on another part of the house and repair things 2 feet up with,
On the one wall of the house, there's damage. It has, vertical siding on it, and it's messed up at the bottom. So.
I think overall, the plan that you brought in, though, doesn't fit the requirements that would be needed for the town,
Well,
which is why you
eventually,
said...
I wanted to change all of the siding on the house, but first, I don't want to go on with this forever. I would like to get it away from being considered unsafe, and then I'd like to do a lot of work to improve the house.
That's your step one, right there.
Yeah.
Meet with Tony. Call him or after the meeting, meet with him, or tomorrow morning, call him first thing and set up a time and a date and plan on spending a couple hours out there and let him see what needs to be done.
Yeah, he's checked it out a lot. I agree with the stuff he's found. Yeah, that's bad. I need to fix that. And everybody said, no, we can't let you fix that.
You've got to meet with Tony. You two have got to get the property, period.
Anytime between 8 and 4, Monday through Friday, give a call and ask for Nicole, and she can set you up on the calendar for a time for us to go out there and check it out.
Kind of in the same situation, so I guess I would say we're looking for a motion, and that he needs to go and call Nicole tomorrow, set up the appointment with Tony, get out there, but we still need you back at the next meeting, because I mean, so it would be looking for a 30-day deferral as well.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
But now, the check part of it, we have to open up the wall. So what am I allowed to do to stop it from raining in?
I don't believe Tony's gonna go there and start, busting holes in your walls. I think he needs to go there and put some close eyes on it and make a plan with you. Nowhere is his intention to put holes in your wall, nor do we want you to put
Well, I don't
holes in
wanna
the wall.
do anything to make anything any worse, it's bad enough now.
Yeah, we're not asking you any, there's not gonna be holes in the wall, but Tony has to put his eyes on that for us.
He's gonna help you put a plan together.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right, I have a motion and a second, for Mr. Linden to reach out to the building department tomorrow to set up an appointment with Tony and a 30-day deferral to the June 19th meeting. Can I get a roll call vote?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Sessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0.
good to see you guys.
We're looking forward to it.
Well, we'll have a plan, because you're gonna meet with Tony and you're gonna have
I've been
a
here
plan.
all the time.
Well, it's fun coming out here, isn't it?
You don't wanna answer that. Okay, we'll see you.
All right, thank you. Item number 9, 14523 Bryan Street, Cox.
Patrick Cox, 14523 Bryan Street.
All right. Let's give you a quick picture. Okay, do we have any progress on this?
Oh, he was out there and looked at it, and I can just tear off the sides completely, and I already got filed for a permit to do it.
You did?
Yeah.
That was, we were waiting on a term from you guys. I did go out there, spoke with your daughter. Okay. And she said, yeah, she asked if it was okay if they just remove that section that is the covered deck. And we said, that's fine. They want to leave the deck there. The deck there was a permit for in '99, I believe. So, as long as the deck is still good and, if they need to erect rails, whatever needs to happen there. But, yeah, all the brush was cleared up by the curb. I had only asked them one additional thing, which was there's a tree that has fallen and is leaning on some other trees out of 45-degree angle or so. I just asked them to...
It's on the ground.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I asked them to get rid of that so it doesn't fall.
No,
But yeah,
it's on the ground.
perfect. Okay, so we're just waiting on this meeting for you guys to give them term on the demo for that covered deck.
How
Tony,
does
just
that
out
work?
of curiosity, sorry. Once the covered portion of the deck is gone, is there anything else on that property that would keep it on the unsafe agenda?
I don't believe so.
Because that's the type of thing that, when and if the permit's issued, could then be bumped into an update item, just to check in, see, I mean, once the permit's secured and it's checked off on, Tony's done his final inspection, then this matter can be removed.
Along with that, my question was, so if we issue the demo permit, because that's what he needs, correct?
Right.
What are the checks on the deck? Because like you said, maybe the deck needs repair at that point, or railings installed, so
Right.
is that like all encompassing with the demo, or do we need to add something on to that?
I would say so. I mean, once we go there to do a final, on the demo, I mean, at that point, if we look at it, I don't recall what the height is off the ground of the deck, but if it's a height that requires handrails, then I guess that's going to be in addition to.
But that would be not unsafe, that would be building department as far as issuing a permit to...
Yes, but it's tied in with this, because where there's now walls, there may need to be rails.
But I'm saying it wouldn't have to come here for us to say, yes, give them,
Right.
you know, building department can issue a permit for a deck, I guess to build the deck out to meet safety standards.
Right,
So they wouldn't have to come here again
No.
and say, issue that permit.
right.
So how do we make that motion, so we're not missing something here?
Well, I think your motion would relate to the issuance of the permit and whatever time period you want to attach it to. Once the permit is done, executed, checked off on by Tony, then the item, from what he's told us, is no longer unsafe. And any additional improvements need to go through the building department. So the question solely for your motion would be, how long do you want to give them on the demo?
How long do you need, sir?
30 days would be good.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Sounds good.
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second.
All right.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Oh, you scared me.
I'm sorry.
One of those days,
Good, I
I'm sorry.
gave the gavel back.
Yeah.
With that, do we need to do something where you'll have that inspected before the next meeting, or do we need to do 30 days with an
Yeah, all
appearance?
he's gotta do is give a call after he's got it demoed and just schedule the final inspection.
Okay, so if it's not demoed in 30 days, you would have to come back.
Well, I think it'll be done.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
He would have to regardless, because the permit would expire, right? So if it's not done, he comes back,
Yeah.
say, we're almost there, or whatever, then they can give you more time if you need it.
So regardless, he's still going to appear at the June 19th?
I mean, unless it's fully checked off on and
Unless it's
Tony's
fully
good
checked
with
off.
it.
And it's down and cleaned up,
Yeah.
not just like down on the ground.
Yeah. So then the motion is still good as Heather stated then?
Yeah, I don't think you need anything else.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Okay, can I get a roll call vote?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Sensauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0.
Okay, do I have to have the permit? Because if they said it takes 7 days to get it, and I haven't got it yet.
We'll get it through fast. Just let them know who you are and that it's gotta be processed fast, and we'll get it processed that day.
Yeah, okay, well, yeah, okay.
All right,
All right.
thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
coming out.
Item number 10, 9110 West 142nd Avenue. Have a lot, good bit, sorry, I mispronounce that every time. I actually drove out there the other day. I seen when McAllister's was finishing up, with, piling up the, slab from the garage.
It's gone, it's all graded out, it's done.
So this can be removed from the list. Would we need?
Also on Zoom.
Well-
I need to talk to him.
Okay. Hi, could you, please state your name and address for the record, please?
Michelle Kovacevic, 2611 Kristen Drive in Indianapolis, Indiana.
All right. Would you like to add anything other than, I do appreciate that you got on this, quickly and had it taken down?
I'm glad that that's what it was. I didn't know if there was anything else.
The house will be a future concern for sure.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was wondering. My question is, could I make an appointment with you, Tony, to meet you at the house and tell me your concerns about it?
Sure.
Okay. Because I could drive up, I'll make an appointment and drive up from Indy to meet with you on it.
Okay, same as Mr. Linden was instructed, you can call any day, Monday through Friday, 8 to 4, and ask for Nicole, and let her know you need to schedule a site inspection, and she will get you booked.
Okay, and I do have that yard mowed, I paid some, you know,
Mhm.
to mow it and keep it up and everything. So that's it then?
Yeah, now, Ryan, will we still need to make the motion to remove this from the agenda, or since the fact that it's down,
Is down, the permit's fully cleared?
Well, that was it had actually expired, it was set to expire prior to the last meeting.
Yeah.
But since they had acted fast, they had reached out, they had secured the permit. It was your suggestion to, let's just move along with it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, when I was there the other day, it's done, it's completed.
Yeah.
Yeah, then I'd make a motion to remove it, and hopefully Tony and the property owner can meet and nip it in the bud before
Yes.
the house becomes an issue.
sounds good?
Also, thank you for taking care of that. It's much appreciated.
Oh, you're welcome, thank you.
I'll make that motion to remove this from the agenda.
I'll second.
Can I get a roll call vote?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Sensauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0.
Hey, you got some off the agenda.
All right, item number 11, 8705 West 132nd Place, Kubiak Properties. Okay. I see Tim is not here, or anybody. Do we have anybody online? No?
No.
I did speak to Tim earlier in the week. I thought he was gonna be here. Well,
He's in the building somewhere.
Yeah, I think he's still in the building.
Well, he's not here, so.
He is not
Do you
here.
want to share the conversation, or do we just get this deferred, or what's the thought here?
he was basically talking about kind of the same thing as far as if they were gonna rebuild it with, this is one of those, not like Mr. Frick's, where this is a smaller lot, and it would run into issues, but nevertheless, it's still, quite unsafe, you know, I mean, I've driven past it several times. You know, it does not get any better.
So what's your thoughts?
Well, we're gonna need to figure out when they can either do a demo permit or have the plans. I mean, kinda like the same thing with Mr. Frick's.
From what I understand, the letters that were sent out, because this is his brother's property, letters that were sent out were sent back. They were not received because his office address has changed. So his brother didn't receive the notices. Whether he has heard about them verbally or not, I don't know. I'm just repeating what I was told. Those letters did not reach him.
So so Ryan, how are we looking with that, unsafe ordinance?
Well, I chatted with Heather a little bit in advance of the meeting, and I think what Tony had said, I didn't get a chance to catch up with Ashley before she left. We're missing those pieces. Tony seems to think that Ashley had some of it done, or
That was from the zoning ordinance.
gave some of it to...
No, I'm talking about the unsafe building ordinance.
Yes, that's what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
that?
Yeah.
No, I was talking about the zoning ordinance.
Oh. She didn't provide you any part of the unsafe building ordinance? Then we're gonna need to put our heads together a little bit on the...
So can we schedule a meeting, 'cause this kind of all ties in with a lot of stuff like that, with fees stuff, or fines, I should say?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of exactly it, and the part that Ashley was working on, a little bit different, but that was the average processing expense that we talked about before, which those numbers were
Yes.
decades old. And the town was just clearly losing money on processing all of these things, because it was, I mean, it was using numbers from a long time ago. But yeah, I'm certainly
She had me
glad
look over a fee schedule to see if I thought it matched the time that I put in for, you know, the inspections and the reports and that.
that's what she was supposed to give me. I've never
Okay.
seen it. Do you know
I
if
can
you
give
did
you
it?
that. Yeah, I believe I got that in an email.
Okay.
I can give you that.
That
I'll
was
take that out.
certainly one missing piece that we
Okay.
need to get all that stuff sort of put together and.
Okay.
So can we schedule an update to that meeting that we've had,
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
like, soon?
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
How do we get on your schedule? What's the best way to make that happen? Well, we started talking about this in January.
I know.
I mean, probably have staff coordinate with Dave's assistants and we can get on the calendar.
So now, suggestions for now then, with,
Do we have a correct address? How do we not have a correct address?
If it's not correct on the GIS, I think that's where it comes from, is the GIS or the recorder's office. So if they don't have the correct address, then I don't know if, again, if utility billing has the right address now,
So does that mean the other one also was not received?
I'm assuming. That I don't know.
The other one, Heather, you're talking about on the last
Potential.
page? That was a potential, so they wouldn't have gotten any notices on that.
Although it wouldn't have mattered because he didn't get the notice anyway.
Correct, but I would suggest that if there's the ability to easily locate an updated address, I assume there is,
I would
that
hope
be
so.
obtained and the notice be resent.
I would make that motion with the expectation that someone needs to appear in the next 30 days with some sort of a plan on this.
Yeah. I'll second that. All right, we have a motion for a 30-day deferral with, making sure that we have somebody here for this item at the next, meeting on June 19th. Can I get a roll call vote?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Sensauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. Moving on to potentially unsafe, 13333 Lemoore Street, Vogel. Okay. And we do not have anybody here. Tony, now could you please refresh my memory? I know I read this email a little while ago that you sent out.
All right.
What was going on with this now, as far as did you contact them? I don't remember the email exactly.
They were trying to do some repairs on the building. They were trying to get the electric turned on one of the units, and when I went there to check to see if that was even a safe proposition, there was a lot more work they needed to get done.
Is there anybody living there? Because at the one time, there was one tenant.
There was one tenant, I think it's vacant now, because she was supposed, when we were there, that was January 17th. We were there January 17th. From what I understand, she was moving out the next month, or the tenant.
But we do not know that as of...
I don't know that for sure. Right.
And now this one photo, just so I'm looking at it right, that's water going underneath the door?
I mean, yeah, the basement's constantly wet, so, and that's probably what rotted out the columns originally, and then the columns were placed in entirely different locations where they shouldn't be, and the structure is, it's just, if it's going to be repaired, it's gonna be a massive undertaking. And all of the quotes that I supposedly, that I received that were supposed to address this just didn't. And I kept bouncing it back to the owner, who I kept telling him also they need a general contractor, we're not gonna run the job for them, and it just kept...
These are the ones that live in California, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
They have never even seen the property in person, not even when they bought it.
I've driven past it, actually, beginning of the year after you did the report.
The outside looks a lot better than the basement.
Yeah, well, I remember you saying that when I think three of you went in on that.
The more you look around, the more you do not want to be in that basement.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that we'd have to move it to active. Is that your thought?
If our building inspector's telling us that it's a problem, then
I believe that to be true. Would somebody like to make a motion on that?
I'll make that motion to move it to the active unsafe list.
And then
Does
we
that
will...
motion include a motion to instruct the property owner to appear?
Correct.
Correct.
Can I get a second?
I'll second, sorry.
I'm sorry, I
One thing
didn't
at a
want
time,
to
first
interrupt.
time of night.
All right, we have a motion to move this to active unsafe and send a notice for the owners to appear, or send Zoom link via...
Yeah.
All right, can I get a roll call vote?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Sensauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. Moving on to item number 2, potentially unsafe, 12611 Klein Avenue, Kubiak Properties Incorporated.
I was out there Monday. Pretty much, if you look at the pictures that are on the report from last year, I don't think much has changed. Aside from the expanded metal that was supposed to be guarding the roof access is peeled back almost entirely now.
That's the last picture.
Yes.
Meaning the roof is exposed for
Oh, yeah.
entry and elements.
Yes.
And this thing has had quite the history with unsafe.
From what I understand, prior to my being on this, in this position.
From as far back as I remember being involved with the original owner back 09?
Sergio?
Huh? Sergio.
Sergio.
Yes. And I know I'm kind of familiar with all that back and forth ordeal, and after he passed, and everything else that happened after that.
Right.
I remember the last time it was on, and it was made secure, and then shortly after, I seen photos of Halloween photos on Facebook of people there taking Halloween photos.
I gotcha.
So that's a problem. That's a big problem. I mean, I definitely feel it needs to go back onto Unsafe because it is clearly not secure.
Right.
Any thoughts?
I would agree.
Yes, definitely.
So I guess we'd be making the same motion to move this to active unsafe and sending out proper notification for the owners to appear at the June 19th meeting.
And finding the most current address for the owner, so we don't have the same issue.
Thank you.
I'll make that motion.
And I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Jeff, a second by Heather. Can I get a roll call vote?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Stetbauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. Moving on to update items, 7512 West 128th Lane, Ristevsky.
If Ashley was gonna reach out to him or not. I thought she was going to because he had purchased on tax sale a lot, either the lots on either side of the house or one of them.
Yeah, this was the one where the property sort of straddled two lots, and he had to get the second lot before he could do anything.
Right, which from what I understand, he got them, or
I
in for
understand,
them.
that's correct.
I have his contact from a prior, rehab that he did in town, so I can reach out to him and see what his intentions are, or if you want him to appear, well, you probably should appear at the next meeting.
I would agree with that. And if you can reach out to him in the meantime and give us some sort of an update, but I think he needs to
Yeah.
probably be here. With everything kind of being,
Yeah.
I would make a motion to,
We don't need motions, these are
Already,
on updates. We can just.
it doesn't need to be back to active?
we just have to notify him to,
Unless you're planning on moving it back to active.
Well, I want him to be here. So these on the update don't have to be here, correct?
Correct.
But I want him to be here.
Okay, then if you want him to do that, then I would suggest that if there's a motion, it would be to put that back on active.
I would make that motion.
I'll second.
okay, we have a motion to move this item back to active and send out notice, for the owners to appear at the June 19th meeting. Can I get a roll call vote?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Stetbauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. Okay, item number 2 and 3, 6599 and 14021, Morgan. I did speak with Tim, he was out there this past week, revisiting it. These two are part of the 4, I believe, Ryan, that had the order to demo that's gonna due to expire in October, I believe?
Yeah, I think these two were probably some of the oldest ones.
Yeah.
along with Ward and then maybe Land Bank.
Yeah, and so I'll get to those in a little bit, but these two, I know Tim has already went out there and evaluated the situation as far as what was gonna be needed. So I would say that those still are gonna, just a work in progress kind of thing as far as getting them on the, order of when they're gonna be taken down. Moving on to 4, the 7029 West 135th Avenue, Tim did mention that there was still, live utilities, to the residents. It was actually, delinquent, and so last Tim's said with NIPSCO that they were gonna be disconnecting it, and that was gonna be next on the list to be torn down. And then, the 7020 West 139th Place, Tim was out there the other day, I just drove past it again today, it is down. So that one is going to be following the normal procedure of, once Tim has all of the costs, I believe there was 4 dumpsters and stuff, and then with Phil and everything, we, issue the bill to the owners, right?
Yeah, you issue the bill, give them whatever, 2 weeks to pay. If they don't, then they send it over to us for the leaning process.
Yes, so that's those two. The West 127th, Lane, that was another one that Tim and I discussed. We're, when he called me and asked me on those 4, which were the ones more pressing, 'cause he had the 8 dumpsters to use up before the end of the month, without turning into one house being all, I spoke with him and we chose that the 2 smaller ones would be the most pressing, especially the 139th, being that this was a burned out from roughly 5 years ago.
Yes.
The ward is another small one that will probably take up the other 3 to 4 dumpsters. And so, just gonna be waiting for bills on those. And then with the 127, same thing, he's kind of in limbo with it, needs to be dry for him to get there, to access, from the adjacent property owner to the south.
Did they agree to that? The
He's
adjacent property owners?
still talking with them, so it's kind of he's not there yet, but I felt more pressing with the 139th, 135th, those are all ready to go, let's get those done, and then once it hopefully stops raining and he can get in there without, doing much damage to adjacent property, then that will take place.
Agreed.
14324 Edison Street, this is, the one way back in the woods. Another town-owned property, we're really not doing anything with that one at the moment. I had some suggestions, but, that's for future plans possibly. But nevertheless, at some point it will have to come down. Access is not the best to get to this. It's way back in the woods. But that has challenges in itself. In other words, I mean, it is town-owned property as well. Moving on to item 8, 13941 Moore Street, Stoyer. This one should not have been on the update. It actually should have been taken off. That was oversight on my part for not seeing that in the agenda for today, so we're just gonna remove, since that was already up, secure and everything. Right, Tony?
As far as I know.
Okay.
Do we need a motion for that, to remove that, or just a
Are you
clerical?
taking it off permanently, or are you
Yes.
just? I would then, just be safe.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to remove 13941 Moore Street from the unsafe list.
Second. Can I get a roll call vote?
Mr. Beal?
Yes.
Ms. Sessauer?
Yes.
Mr. Teal?
Yes, motion carries 3-0. All right, we're gonna move on to public comment. Any public comment on unsafe? Name and address for the record?
Yes. My name is Donna Corey, 14605 Bryan Street, Cedar Lake, Indiana. I'm going to address 3 things. First of all, I have permission to show you a picture of my neighbors, the Coxes, 14523 Bryan Street. I'm really concerned about just having the porch safe. I feel like the hoses that are going into the windows, like physical hoses. I don't know if they have running water. I feel like I've watched over the years that the house is bowing and just being very, and then another thing, Tony, they are known for doing everything at night, pitch black. I'm afraid that they will not get the permit. They will tear down that deck in the middle of the night.
Well, I mean, we know it's there now, so if it's not there tomorrow morning, that's a problem.
So what do I do?
Call us if it disappears overnight.
Okay, because they really do. They took down a dilapidated garage. It was there, and I woke up and it was gone.
Is that a blessing?
It is, but they burned it. Like,
Oh, that's not.
Yeah, that's been like 4 years time. So I'm just concerned because, again, people come in, they clean up for about 10 weeks, and then they don't do nothing for 4 years. And everything grows back like that tree. It's been leaning like that since it got hit by lightning, and now it's just laying there. And then all the sheds are dilapidated. I feel like really the house, I don't even know if it has running water. There's 2 little kids that live in there.
Donna, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Tony, you were there and put eyes on the house, right?
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's not the prettiest house in town. There's a lot that are better, there's a lot that are worse.
I know.
It's hard to say.
If there's, I mean, like health and safety issues, that would need to go.
I have called the board, or the health department and all that stuff, and it's just sad. It's just a sad situation, and Pat does not live there. Like, none of these people in my subdivision, that these houses are on this unsafe, do not live in those structures.
None of these people live there, that's the
Mr.
problem.
Linden hasn't lived in that facility, probably 10, 15, 20 years. It's just, I feel like I'm watching a dog and pony show with these people. I walk my dog, I walk every day, I go by these houses. I work at Bugaboo Farm Grill part-time, and I know Mr. Fritz, Tim Kubiak, offered to put a drain between the properties to help with his water issues. He would not let them do that. He literally, everything I feel, I don't know if it's proper for me to say that, but he knows what he's doing. He absolutely knows what he's doing. He knows that that house would take 2 hours to come down. He drives around this big old tractor in our subdivision. He mows the 3 acres of the Abshire property. It could definitely take down that house. It's been the same way. He doesn't do anything to it. He owns the house that's at corner to it. He could put anything that he had in that house in that house. I feel like it's years of these constant abandoned houses in my subdivision.
But unfortunately, it's not only yours. I think
No, I know.
here live within.
I know. I just want to make sure that
I respect the anger. I understand.
it's not even anger, it's just like.
Oh, I'm angry.
I don't live in the biggest house, but you know what, I maintain my house, I try to make it pleasable to the eye, I like to sit outside, I enjoy my lake, I have a little bit of lake view, but I have to always look at that other house, and it's just like, come on, mow your lawn, or take down a tree, or, I do appreciate the deck thing. I just feel like people like that, they'll do everything at night. They do everything at night.
Tony, could you, for the sake of our citizens here and us, could you do the demo inspection and put another fresh set of eyes on the house and make sure there's nothing that we're missing?
Sure.
And if at that time there is, it's not going to get removed,
Right.
and we'll take it from there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is that fair for now?
Yes, I feel, yes. And then with Don, you know, with Mr. Fritz too, like I said, he's just, I hope you guys, I know you guys know, but he's,
I believe my feelings on
Yeah.
that were very clear, so I'm.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Donna.
Robert Grosek, 14055 Deodore, Cedar Lake. Pertaining to the property at 12611 Klein, I know that's an unsafe building. Does the town have any type of ordinance where they're supposed to keep the grounds at least somewhat maintained? Cut the grass, clean it up a little bit? I will say the golf course, whoever owns it, I'm not going to say who because don't know for sure, they're at least keeping it somewhat mowed, not overgrown. They're doing something to clean that, at least maintain it. And there's nothing being done with that. Is there an ordinance that grass can only be so high? I don't know if that comes to this board or plant. I just figured it was brought up for a building, but
Right.
the grounds look
Tony, do you
terrible.
remember off the top of your head what the distance is? Because I believe on some parcels, it was X amount of feet from the roadway, like at the golf course, whether it be 40, 50 feet or whatever from the roadway, and then that way they're not mowing the whole thing.
I know he mowed that last year, and I don't recall what that footage was. That may have been.
But there is something in an ordinance, I thought.
Could be.
I remember very well at one of the meetings years ago when the fire chief was up here and stated that he has to have access back there.
Okay.
So I would assume that that means giving some sort of a path.
There is
There's a
a
road.
old paved path to get back there, but as far as, I know what he's talking about, from the roadway back, I guess that he mowed it last year because he
Yes.
really had to. So, I don't know what that footage was, I'm not familiar with that, but, yeah, there was a number.
Is that a town code or a building? That's a town code issue, right?
Probably, yeah.
That needs to go up to the
It'd be
police department?
the tall grass and weeds ordinance that's enforced by the police department, code enforcement.
So does he need to call there tomorrow, or is that something that
I
now?
guess. Yeah, I mean, if it's a tall grass and weeds type of thing, then that's
But they would only maintain it from the road to where those pillars are?
I unfortunately don't have that answer.
Or is that on their property too?
I know for my property, I have to keep all my grass cut,
Absolutely,
so I don't know,
exactly.
I don't know the rules on that.
Okay,
But yes, there is something.
okay. So call code enforcement then and see what they say about it? Okay, thank you so much.
Do we have any more public comment for unsafe building? Any more comment? All right, seeing none, this meeting is adjourned at 7:17 p.m.